Chloe Fontaine is an epic DJ and a super glamorous lady, but is DJing a glamorous profession, Chloe? What do you think?
I think DJing has been more glamorized because it's been brought into other areas of industries, I think. You know, whereas you used to just have the club DJs. Now you see F1, you see fashion shows, you've got DJs, and I think that's become a bigger part of the industry as well.
Yeah.
Not just playing in clubs. So I think it's more glamorized in that way, yeah.
Yeah, and there's kind of nitty-gritty to it as well, isn't there? Because like your average kind of jobbing DJ, when you go out and do a wedding, you've got to take all the equipment and stuff, haven't you?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
But I think gone are the days of the Gary's Mobile Disco.
Thankfully.
Where we just come up with the same playlist. I mean, everything is very bespoke now.
Yeah.
Well, the weddings that I do are very bespoke. I really want to get to know the couple. I really want to know what their Jamaican 90-year-old gran will dance to on the dance floor. Let's get tracks that will get everyone up in your family and your bridesmaids and everyone dancing. So I kind of really get involved when it comes to weddings. So I get very personal.
So talk me through the kind of genres that you play.
Okay, so I think it's different for different events. So with the weddings, obviously, kind of anything goes. I do a lot of international music as well, like the world music. So I'll implement that as well if that's what the couple want, depending on their heritage, obviously. I will play all genres of house for any event. So, you know, corporate receptions could be chill out, Buddha bar style. It could be deep house. It could go up to the house classics, or then we go maybe to like the more garagey, or lots of disco at corporate events. And then I think in like the high-end hotels and restaurants, they like a little bit more of the trendier kind of implements of Afro house, Latin infusions as well. But you know, I mean, I think I wouldn't say I'm a complete cross-genre DJ, but for weddings, I would definitely, if they want a bit of 90s R&B, let's get that in. Let's get the old flavors out and let's do it. But that's the guilty pleasures for weddings. So every gig, I play something different, which is the hardest thing when people might say to me, oh, I've listened to one of your mixes online, but would you play this? I play anything. So, yeah.
So how did you get into DJing?
I actually tried not to get into DJing, so this is a bit of a weird thing. So my mum was one of the first DJs in Ibiza.
Wow.
Yeah, my parents met in Ibiza a long, long time ago. And she was dancing around our living room as a child in her caftan, playing her records. So that's where the music was definitely came from in the family. And then everyone ended up working in music in my family. And I was working as an actress, trying to support myself working in clubs. And then I had a big knowledge of music and passion for music. And I was working in the music industry, but I didn't start DJing till a lot later on. Also because my brother's a DJ, I didn't really want to be like just following his footsteps, but I was doing radio as well, and radio and DJing, they fall hand in hand sometimes, so it's just a natural progression to do that.
Yeah. So tell me, if you are at a gig and the dance floor is a bit quiet, do you have a few tracks, you know, your sort of go-to tracks, like if all else fails tracks that you might put on? You know, sometimes when it's thinning out.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a hard thing for a DJ, but a lot of people say to me, I'm really good at reading a room.
Yeah.
And you just need to hone in on one girl that's kind of singing along or something like that. You kind of tap into their vibe and see what will get them going, and then they bring their friends across. Or, you know, you might just have to flip it to something that you know is going to bring a lot of people to the dance floor, maybe like a disco track. It depends what the event is and what people are feeling. But I just try and hone in on people.
Yeah, reading the room is the thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I think, you know, I have to say, I think that's what girls are really good at doing. The boys are really technical. They're really good at technical stuff, but I've noticed that the girls are amazing at reading rooms.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too.
Yeah, probably get in trouble for saying that, sorry.
So can you tell me about any of your favourite gigs that you've done, like throughout your kind of career?
Well, I mentioned F1 earlier. I have to say, doing F1 at Silverstone I'm a bit of a car geek, so Goodwood Festival. I've played in beautiful chateaus and caves. I've been so blessed and lucky in my life to play at such amazing events. But you know, there's nothing better than playing at a festival to thousands of people, and you're jumping up on stage just like one of the festival goers. So I think there's just too many amazing things I've done. I'm really lucky. I'm very lucky.
And what about outfits when you go out and DJ? Is it kind of like, do you sort of, depending on where you're...
Do you know what I've got to say? I've got some stylist friends, and sometimes there is some last minute, oh my God, you've got to help me. I'm in Rome for 3 days, quickly, I need 5 outfits. And I annoy all my friends, and I just sometimes send them. I'm not the best at that, but I will always look smart, which is really, and fun. But yeah, so... you've probably got a whole wardrobe of sequins, and I have to say that there is that section of it that is. But yeah, I think that I'm not the best at fashion, but I will always blend in. I turned up recently to an event that the branding was red, you know, so for this beer company, and I think they liked the effort that I turned up in a red suit just so I could fit in with everything. So of course, personal touches like that are important.
So what do you do in your downtime when you're not DJing?
Well, because my day job is in music, I really try and do something not music related. That said, I do go to a lot of concerts, but I love doing Pilates and walking with my dog. Is that really boring?
No, not boring at all. We love dogs.
I need things that are a bit more grounding and switch off things now, because the older I've got, that I've realised that I need that kind of walks in nature and things like that, just to kind of calm the head. And then, you know, when you're doing music 6 days a week, you just sometimes need to get out that environment and just kind of bounce into some calmer mode.
So you talked about there doing music 6 days a week. So what do you do when you're not DJing? So what's your day job?
So I was full-time DJ. Well, I was still acting at the time. I was an actor for many years. And I still do odd voiceovers. I did one yesterday. So I still keep my finger in a few pies, but I do have a day job as a music consultant. Nice. So we put music in venues, bars, restaurants, beautiful rooftop, you know, clubs and things like that. And the good thing about that job is it makes you much more aware of world music. So I'm making playlists all over the world, honing in on areas that you wouldn't know, and artists, which is really broadened my knowledge of music. Yeah.
I was going to say, your knowledge must be impeccable.
Yes. As long as I can just keep my head ticking and sane, then it is.
So lastly, if a client was to book you, why should they book Chloe Fontaine?
I'm a very personable DJ. So when I'm playing for someone's event, I think I said this earlier, you know, I like to have that connection with someone. So if it's a wedding or something like that, or a birthday, 50th anniversary, if you want someone that's going to feel like you're part of the party, I think that's what I would definitely offer, you know. And like I said, musically, I want to get everyone involved. For corporate events, I mean, I must have been doing big brands for over 20 years. That's not to say I haven't played in my local for a wedding, because, you know, I'm that kind of person too. So I think it's just, one, the knowledge of the music, if you want some world music, and if you want someone that's just going to be a bit more personable, I think,